Jacket. We're at Palace de Chilarino. It's still Thursday night. And previously, if you go back and watch the video, Jolly Jackson's performance is what you can view. So tonight joining us, Mr. Jolly Jackson. Hello.
Hi.
A Mr. needs to go before
Yeah.
you. So first question, because we did touch on it, talk about the significance of the get up. It's an important thing.
I there's a lot of reasons. I liked the idea of doing something a little more vaudeville. Me and my girlfriend kind of talked about it, and I always felt like a clown, and I always felt when I performed, and so I figured why not just be one. And it sets an expectation, I think, for the music when I do dress like this, because people have all kinds of reactions. Either the people think I'm a juggalo, or they laugh, or they're scared, or they just look in amazement, because I just drive around like this, and then or go in public, like I went to Wingstop, and there was a 3-year-old girl that just started screaming and crying because she was so afraid of clowns, and I was just there to get wings, and
it's okay, honey.
Yeah, I was I waved and was trying to be nice, but I like that reaction. I feel like it gets, it's putting more of a performance aspect of what I do when I play.
Does it change, or is this how you always perform? Does the makeup change? Do you add other accoutrement? Does the outfit change?
Well, this is new, so my plan was to just let it evolve.
Mm-hmm.
However I felt and I've tried different makeup looks and different. This is kind of the outfit though.
Yeah.
The hobo clown.
I like the hobo clown. It almost is like precious moments.
Yeah.
We need to start sewing patches of flannel onto the onto the red pants.
Yeah. I figured as they ripped and as things changed, I could do more makeup and add all kinds of things.
I like that.
So
kind of you've said you're new. How new is this project?
It's new, very new. I started performing as Jolly Jackson at open mic at Fusion without makeup, and I just would do a couple songs, and then I just started booking a few shows, and I played at SOS was my first gig as Jolly Jackson. I opened for the Almas and Speed Rail, which I feel like is weird for me to open for them. But then I also opened the Kenosha Day at Summerfest on July 6th, and I opened for Denoma, which I've known those guys forever, so they're like family.
So where are you going to go now? This is new, and what is the goal for this project?
Just to write songs and write whatever I feel and play it for people. I want people to be engaged in what I do, and I feel like if I dress up if I dress crazy, people will pay attention to me, and then they're drawn in, and then they're forced to listen to what I'm actually saying.
Yes, your songs are very moving, touching things. You have to pay attention to them. So, that being said, what is your muse now, and where are these songs coming from?
They come from a lot of places. I've had a real rough ride the last year, and so a lot of the sad songs kind of come from that trauma, and experiencing it and just channeling that pain. Some people are like, well, you're singing about ex-girlfriends, or you're singing about all these other things. It's not because I want to think about those things. It's because when I let them go in that way, it's cathartic.
It's healing.
Yeah.
It's healing.
And a lot of there were, you know, I was hurt in a lot of ways emotionally by a lot of those things over the past few years. And then there's also a lot of ghost narrative in what I write. I have an idea. You know, there's a lot of songs I didn't sing that are kind of more along those lines, where I have a person or a focus and I sing about them.
Mm-hmm.
Madman Blues is like that. I mean, none of that happened to me in my life.
It's a mix.
It's just a rock song about a guy who did the hard living thing. You know,
All of us are living hard. Some
Yeah.
just harder than others.
And other songs are more personal to me, and you can kind of tell sometimes, you know. And there are also some of the songs are, you know, are love songs, you know, about people that I care about. You know.
How did you develop your style to do this? See, these are good questions.
These are good questions. Years of just listening to what other people do and trying not to. It's a hard question. I consume a lot of music and a lot of material, but I never felt like I sounded like anybody else. So I just.
Everything I've heard you ever do has been different than the thing you just did.
Yeah, I don't have a congruent style. I just, however a song comes to me or a story, that's how I play it. But I also want songs to have catchy choruses, and I want them to have meaningful verses, and I just kind of piece it all together like I'm making a cake.
Do you like doing the acoustic singer-songwriter thing? Do you feel you've found your niche? Or are you still wanting to do more and be part of a whole group and do that again?
It'd be fun to play with other people.
And
there's something awesome about, you know, there's something real and fun about just being fucking loud. And just letting it rip, and noisy guitar solos, and I like all that too. But there's something more intimate and lyrical, and I can tell stories, and I can express myself, and I can hopefully make other people feel things in a real way. You know, I'm not trying to write anthems. I'm trying to write songs that people listen to and go, damn, you know, I've either been through that, or I'm going through that, or, you know, that's a good way to look at that instead of looking at it like this. Maybe I do that, maybe I don't. I'm not trying that hard.
I'm not trying that hard. But you do. I think that's unfair to say, because you do put time into developing your music. So, do you normally have a lyric that pops into your head, or do you write the guitar, you pick up your guitar and you're like, oh, and then you make words to it, or how does your writing process come about?
Daydreams.
Okay.
I'll hear melody in my head or something, and a lot of times it stems from fiddling on the guitar. I'll be fiddling with something, and then I'll go do something else, and the next thing I know, I have what I was fiddling on plus a melody just going through my head, and then I sit down and I start to piece them together. And sometimes I have words, sometimes I pull words from the poetry I write, which I'm writing a really long poetry book right now.
That's great. Are you going to be part of the Kenosha Racine Laureates?
I don't know.
Hi.
I don't know. I have 2 chapbooks done. It's about 30,000 words.
Where are those?
They're written down.
Are you going to publish them and make them available? Or at this point in your life, a lot of this is just for you, and you're just slowly sharing it?
It's for me, and I want to get to a place where it's not so... I write things that are weirdly relatable to people, and I find that sometimes people read into it too much and think they project it on me instead of it being cathartic and like reading it like you would read a book. They're like, oh, I see this guy and that's what he's like.
Interesting.
I don't know, but maybe that's just my own fear. But I also feel like it requires a lot of editing and a lot of work that I just haven't put in yet. And I will. Just not there.
Slow and steady?
Yeah.
But it sounds like from our off-camera conversation that you're kind of geared up to kind of mass produce some albums, because you just did one and you said you already have a few others kind of written. So talk about that, like how you're cranking out songs.
Yeah, well, Laughing But Serious was a compilation of older material and newer material that I had recorded probably over the last 3 years with our friend Steve, you know. And
he would allow you to say I'm his friend, huh?
Maybe not.
Just kidding. I have no hard feelings.
Me and I love the guy. Let me just say that.
I know he loves you. You have no clue.
Yeah. So
I do. Ha.
But we spent a lot of time working on stuff, and I mixed it down, and he may or may not like how I mixed some of it down. But I don't know. A lot of it turned out really good, and it's an interesting record, but there's good material in there. Mm-hmm. Stuff that I had been wanting people to hear for a while, and
there's a lot of content on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 12 songs, 2 instrumentals, and then the rest is just me, and I find it difficult because I should be promoting more songs off that record, but I'm not. So I feel like it's like I got it out. I picked a few that I thought were good, and now I'm moving on to the next.
This leads me to an important question. It is available on Bandcamp.
Yes.
When you posted your music on Bandcamp, how did you decide on what the first song people should hear was or should be? Because I often wonder that. Like when I go to, somebody sends me a link and I go to it, like Under the Seas of This Revolution is the first song that pops up as like the featured song to hear from you.
Yeah.
How did you select that? Do they select that? How's that work?
You get to choose that, and I chose that song because that song is the introduction to who Jolly Jackson is. It's like the big opener I wanted. And I feel like the songs get more, that song is very self-aware. And so I find that it's good to start there and then kind of digress into just extreme sadness. Because I feel like every song on that record is very depressing.
Will there be Happy Jackson ever?
Yeah.
Will there truly be jolly?
They're hopeful. Hopeful.
Okay.
Because I feel there are very few happy songs that people really truly like. I mean, like
I like ska, so
yeah. So whatever. But I mean, like, if you were to go to the jukebox and like your choices were, Wham, Jitterbug, right?
Right.
That's a happy song. And Wake Me Up Before You Go Go.
Right.
Or like Dirty Diana. Like what's the choice? Which one would you pick? 9 times out of 10, which one would you go for?
That's a hard thing. I'm a happy human,
yeah.
So like.
I mean, I guess it's your mood, but I feel like I would always play Dirty Diana because I felt like I wanna feel that song.
I do like emotional music, and I do like music that is like your music is sad, but it's not just like, oh, sad. There's an emotion behind it that you can feel, that you know that what was put into that was significant. So not that I'm typecasting or saying, oh, this person is like this, but to have the ability to make somebody else feel something is significant. And most often, with happy music or any music, it's kind of almost like shrugged off. Like, I heard it and that's cool and I like that song. But I feel like with this, those things stick. Like, it is poetry. It's lyrical poetry. And those are things that you go, oh, you pause for a second, you feel something, and you have to process through that, which is important, I think, depending on your mood, of course, of what you want to do.
I feel like what I do isn't easily digested. But my songs can be pretty ridiculously catchy.
They are. But I like them because I pick up on different things each time I listen to them, which is why I like them.
Yeah. But I guess the funny thing is like I do put time into it, but normally when I'm writing a song, it's like, how do I have a catchy chorus? How do I write songs that relate to me, but also relate to what I'm going through, that other people can relate to, and just kind of, I keep just piece it together and then I record a demo, I listen to it, I try to remember how it goes, and then I modify it however I think.
You gotta become a folk punk band next. With the hobo whole get up. You need a washboard and like one of the tubs. I play clarinet.
I was thinking glam rock band.
Oh, wow. I didn't even go like that. See? Like, I'm pigeonholed into already another
I'm thinking like,
You just like glitter, huh?
Yeah.
You do. Because this is glitter.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty.
No, I'm thinking, like Sweet or, David Bowie or...
Ah, that would be good. Like a whole band of people dressed up as different clown
or just however
characters.
They want, as long as it's just bright and fun. They don't have to be clowns. It could be whatever. The bass player could dress like a dragon. I don't care. Like,
that would be cool.
But
you know anybody who wants to be a dragon?
I don't know, but I'll find somebody. But I guess I'm just kind of taking it wherever I want to take it. There's no, I don't want to set it. I'm not setting any limits, but I'm also not setting any expectations. I'm just writing the best songs I can write, and hoping people care enough to listen to them.
So, having now played 2 shows out as this, how well received has that been?
When I can get people to listen, they really enjoy it. When otherwise, it's easy for people to just go get a beer and walk away.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of what I do.
Do you have anything upcoming? Are you interested in booking anything? And if you did, what would you do?
If people want to book me, I'm available Friday nights. If anybody wants me to play for them. But I just don't know exactly where I fit. But I would play any show. I would open for a death metal band. I don't care. It's just, I want people to listen. I want people to enjoy what I do. I don't really care. I feel like the best place for me to perform would be like in a concert hall where people are there to listen so that they can be a part of the show. And it's just the nature of live music. I can go to Summerfest, see 5 bands, but never really listen to anybody.
That's true. It's just noise and an experience.
Yeah. But if I go see a concert, I'm there to see the performance. And that's what I want Jolly Jackson to be, is it's a performance. I'm not, I don't like crowds being in them. Being in front of them is a different story. But I stay home and I write my poetry and do my thing, and if people want me to come out and do my thing, I will. But otherwise, I'm not really pushing any sort of musical agenda.
So now that you have this first album done, I am super allergy. I'm all clogged up, sorry. What's the goal for these other things that you have written? How will that process go? Are you going to record yourself? Are you going back to Steve and you're mixing it, or how will that work?
I started recording with Freak Activity.
Okay.
and who's a great producer, and he's really a really creative person. And so I'm hoping that we can continue to do that. We recorded one song, and I think it sounds great. But I'm not adding a lot of embellishment. I've been trying to do stuff, but it's just not sounding right. So I'm just performing the songs like you saw them tonight, and then getting the best stereo mix of that. And I'm gonna do 10 of those and put it out as the next one.
On Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Are you on SoundCloud?
Yeah, but my SoundCloud has been kind of a dumping ground for just experimental stuff.
Okay.
And I've kind of forgot the password, so like I'm not doing much there anymore.
You're not going to sell your music away to like CD Baby and such things, right?
No, I mean if I...
That includes DistroKid, TuneCore, Orchard Music, Sony Music, Time, or Warner Brothers.
I think with the next album, depending on how well it turns out, I'd like to get physical copies made or make the physical copies myself.
Just make them.
Make them.
Yes, that.
Make them. But I also can't, I don't have the ability to make vinyl, and I've always wanted to have
Who did we just
a
hear
nice
about?
12-inch of my stuff.
No, Cheap Sleeves just did vinyl.
Yeah, but you don't have to go through a distributor to have your shit pressed through vinyl.
Well, right, I know. It just costs money.
It all costs money. So, when he's all like passe about, go ahead and just download my music. Pay people you like. This is a lifestyle. People do music because they love it, and all of us secretly are like, I want this to be my real job. Realistically, we're like, I have a 9-to-5 so that I can pay my bills so I'm not homeless trying to do my real life thing. So, don't just download shit for free, and if you happen to do that, at least fucking buy some merch, share their shit, tell your friends, make a donation. $5 is not that big of a fucking deal to anybody, but if 1,000 people donated $5, you would be able to do something with that.
Yeah.
Little bits equal a bigger thing.
But I'm just not, that's not my motivation anymore. It was with Fur Coats. I wanted it to do a thing. I wanted to tour. I wanted to make money and put and distribute and be on the level of an independent, be my own publisher and whatever. But with this, it's just I'm a member of ASCAP. I am my own publisher for my own music, and so it's easy for me to just hear.
Explain to people what that is, ASCAP, and what that means.
It's a performing rights organization. It means they protect your royalties, and if anybody were to say they downloaded my album for free and then had fucking Katy Perry redo one of my songs and it became a big hit and they owed me millions of dollars, ASCAP would then pay the lawyers to get the money. They would obviously take some of that money, but but I wouldn't have to do that myself. But and it's...
So how does somebody go about doing that? Explain that process.
You can do it all online. It's very simple. You go to their website. You have to pay a small registration fee, and then once you fill out all the stuff, you have to go on and register your songs when you've had completed works, and they're at that point they're essentially copywritten.
So we just upped our game. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's not as difficult as people make it out to be, but it's good to have those things sometimes, and I don't rely on them. I just want to put out as much music. I like being creative. I like putting out art, and I'm hoping to do more of it, whether it's poetry books or narrative writing, or if it's musical albums or performing as Jolly Jackson. I mean, it's all going to be Jolly Jackson.
Even the poetry, all of it?
Mm-hmm.
So, besides music and poetry, what other outlets are you doing for art? And, if music is something that you feel I might not fit here, what other sorts of events would you go do so that you could have your other works known?
I don't know. I guess I don't really do any visual art anymore. I mean, I used to paint and that kind of thing, but I like performance and I like written, literary art.
Literary art. Rarity.
But for me, it's not something I'm not a writer. I don't sit down and spend time writing. I write when I feel like it. When I need to, when it's cathartic, when it serves a purpose for me mentally, or I have a great idea. Otherwise, I'm not trying to force any writing, and I'm not trying to write a novel. I'm not trying to
So when's a goal that you project for yourself to have another album out?
I'm hoping it'll be out as soon as it's done. So if it takes, if I do one song a recording session and I get one session in a week, in a couple months.
Okay.
So
So then when you have recorded, do you get those actual tracks sent to you via email so that you can do whatever with them? Or how,
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on, that's how it typically works.
And then you're able to then publish them how you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of such things, people who are watching, paying attention, who have been like, who is this person and how can I find them? How can people find you so that they can hear your music or connect with you?
JollyJackson.bandcamp.com, and I'm Jolly Jackson on Facebook. So I'm going to make a public person page, so to share my music, and I'm hoping to do a website, but it's a slow process. It's not like I'm actively investing a lot of time
into this.
I invest a lot of time in the writing of material, and I have so much material I don't even know what to do with.
Right.
To the point where I could have kept playing all night if I had remembered songs to play. Because I didn't write a set list tonight.
No, you didn't.
No.
You just wung it.
Yeah. Just played whatever came to my mind.
And that's the hard thing, right? Is remembering here's this song. This is how I did it.
Yeah. Because I played for 45 minutes at Summerfest, and I played a lot. I played some of the same material tonight and some of the different. Normally I like to open with Under the Seas Revolution, but I opened with another new song. And so, I'm just kind of getting into this again.
So how receptive are you then to people who are like, hey, I really like your stuff, and do you have anything for sale? Do you have any merchandise? Do you have any copies of anything digitally? Just digital platform?
I had some physical copies made and I sold 10 of them.
Ooh.
They were all individually numbered. So some people have them. I intend to make more, but
So I love the imagery that you used for the Bandcamp. I don't know what you'd call that. I'd call it a CD case, but it's not.
Yeah. That was just a stock photo from the National Archive.
Okay. So is that moving forward kind of what you're going to continue to utilize?
It was kind of just a last ditch effort when I was putting up the stuff on Bandcamp. I didn't have an album cover at that point. I knew the title of the album was Laughing But Serious, but I didn't have a picture. And the physical copies that people have are actually, it's a sad emoji and a happy emoji.
Oh.
And they're the dots on the eyes of two J's written in gold.
How'd you come up with that title, Laughing But Serious?
People texting. People would text LBS all the time. And I thought, that was a great concept.
I like that.
Because I'm like, I'm laughing, but I'm play very serious.
You do.
So.
Do you have any gigs coming up?
No.
Nothing.
No. So.
This is it.
Yeah.
So people can catch you here. They can catch you on Bandcamp.
Post on my wall if you want me to play a show, or message me on Facebook. Or if you know someone that's got my number, call me and leave me a voicemail. Or text me.
What else do you want people to know about you?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Mm-mm.
No? Does it feel good to be doing this again?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I love performing for people. I love playing songs for people. And I love when people listen, and I love when people tell me that they like my stuff and that they are interested. All I need is that little bit of sympathy from strangers, and that's enough fuel to feed my ego for months. So, I don't expect much anymore. But I'm compelled to continue doing it.
It is good that has not ever left you. That music has never gone. And that, like, art in general never stopped.
No, it's a very... I can't help it. I just have to do something. Otherwise I feel like I'm going crazy. Like, because I have all these ideas and thoughts in my head, and if I don't get them out, they're going to just build up and I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah, we don't want that. No. And what you produce is very well done. So
yeah. I'm
anticipating the next, because I get notifications because I follow you, so it'll say, new album, new music from, because Bandcamp's really good about that.
Yeah.
If anybody who is watching and paying attention hasn't picked up on this, when you create an account on Bandcamp, you can follow people, and then you get email notifications that go, bling, so-and-so has new music, which is great because you get to connect all over the place.
I was going to release a 2-song single by probably next month.
Good.
Or early September. So, and that's going to be called Jolly Jackson's Misery.
Ooh. So will these kind of follow a theme? Like, this one's laughing but serious, and that one is Jolly Jackson's Misery. What's going to be the title of the actual 10-song album?
I was going to call it Jolly Jackson Forever.
JJF!
Because the original working title for the first album was Jolly for Now.
Oh.
And so, yeah, Jolly Forever.
I gotcha. I like it. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Jolly Jackson, Kenosha, Wisconsin. You can find him on Facebook as that name, or you can find him on Bandcamp. You can find him here on our show as well. And thank you for joining us. Sunday night, we're going to be at Union Park Tavern. It's now free. We now do free shows there. You don't even have to pay. Show the fuck up. We have 2 bands joining us, Benjamin Rose from Janesville, and we have Oveja Negra from Chicago. And our featured artist is Ivy Berg. So come buy some stuff, support art and music. Okay, thanks, bye.
Come on and